people need to be open enough to forgive. And forgiveness, of course, is a choice. We have to make that choice. But it's actually an action, too. Mm-hmm. What does it look like when you do forgive somebody? Mm-hmm. And think long term. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, deciding to cut people out of your life is not always the right decision. Now, sometimes, yes. Sometimes we do need to cut them out for a season or maybe longer than a season.
Yep.
Maybe we have to do it with major boundaries. But if there is an opportunity to reconnect, go for it. Try it, right? Because it could be really healthy in the end. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. Excited to be in the studio today with my hubby. Hi, hubby.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday.
Yes, it's been a week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a full week.
Yeah, it's been a pretty exciting last couple of weeks.
I know.
Coming off a very tense election cycle.
I know. Getting
the victory for Mr. Donald J. Trump. We did a couple of episodes, of course, on preparing for voting and what it all meant. And our amazing kids did a great one on, the founding fathers, and just so exciting. Like I thought we'd reflect on that a little bit for this podcast. Been pretty neat watching our kids with just a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of open discussion, really kind of grab a hold of trying to learn more about our country, trying to learn more about our history, trying to learn more about what it even means today to try to maintain the values that the country was built on. And, I'm watching, like every time I walk in the house right now, they're all studying some kind of book on, American history, from resources that we trust, right? It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I think it's been really interesting, the conversations we've been having, though, because some of the things that they're even telling us that they're learning right now, either one, we forgot about, or two, we never really studied ourselves. Mm-hmm. So to be in a position where our kids are teaching us about things they're excited about is a really fun season for us at our house. Yeah. And we're really careful, like you said, on the resources because unfortunately things are doctored up in unique ways. Yeah. And it's not the truth about our American history. Mm-hmm. But gosh, we have such an amazing, amazing country. Yeah. And we live in such a unique time, but it's a really great time, especially after coming off that election. I mean, what a sense of relief.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere you go, everywhere. Like everywhere. Every coffee shop you walk into, I go to the gym to play basketball with these guys. We walk into a grocery store, you go to a leadership meeting, we go to church, like everywhere you go, there's like this whew, kind of a feeling going on right now. And there's you can tell everybody just like kind of getting energized, like, okay, we're going to have a great run here for the future. And they're so excited about it. You watch even just how quickly, it's been a few days, you watch how quickly things are even turning around. I'm watching gas prices drop already. I'm watching conflicts already start to be talked about being resolved globally. I'm watching stocks and everything from crypto, et cetera. Our investments are all going through the roof. Like it all has happened in just a few days, and it just goes to show how emotionally positive that the whole world is feeling right now, which is really cool.
How drained we were for so long. I mean, even the day after the election, some of our kids were watching it the whole time. They were super involved. Yeah. Like, it was really great to see them get excited as certain states' votes finally came in. Yeah. And we got to do it as a family. And I know they'll remember that forever. Mm-hmm. Like that, the year when like they got to be a part of it. They kind of understood what was happening to some degree. Mm-hmm. They felt engaged in the process. Like they understood who we were voting for, why we were voting the way we were. And they were just in prayer about, the country. It was really neat. And then anybody that we connected with, they got to have conversations about what our beliefs were because they were educated on it. So it was just a really, really fun week. And then leading up, like I said, to the actual night of it, all the excitement, right? Like, of course, nervous, but very excited at the same point. And the next morning, I just remember waking up and our sweet little girl was sitting at the table doing her coloring, and she was just singing. Like praise and worship songs, just singing, and she's almost 6. So she didn't understand what was going on. All she knew is who we voted for and that was a good thing. And we were all excited about it. But when she woke up in the morning, we told her that, Trump won. I mean, she was just sitting so peaceful.
Yeah.
And I know you can sit there and be like, doesn't she do that every day? But there was just a sense of peace, like childlike peace in her. Yeah. Because mom and dad were peaceful and the kids were peaceful and the house was peaceful. And there wasn't this level of like stress or disappointment. It was like excitement. And it just reminded me of how important it is that we are always choosing the best leaders, and that it's not just sitting in your closet praying all the time. You need to take action because the world took action. Like as a country, like the U.S. took action this time. We came out and supported where we really wanted our leader to be. It was a really good feeling.
Yeah. Everything rises and falls on leadership, right? And if you want to know how an organization is, what the temperature an organization is going to run at, you just stick a thermometer in the leader's mouth, right? And so when you get the right leadership in place, and now it's just like, man, everybody can be like, okay, like, this is great. What are we doing? How are we planning? What are we dreaming? What are we going to accomplish? And it's instead of how are we protecting? How are we safeguarding? How much more of a do I have to have my head in a swivel for my family? What am I doing with money? Because who knows what's happening with the future economy? Like there's so much anxiety that comes from leadership that isn't in alignment with, what we want for a future. For sure.
Or the example for our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, to actually be able to, show them like, this is how a country should be run. This is the kind of leadership we do want in here.
Yeah.
This is the kind of example we want to run our country. You know what I mean? And it's so important because our kids are living in a time where their eye gates and ear gates are very open. There is so much spinning around them. And for the first time, be in a very long time, be able to say like, this is the kind of leadership we want and this is what it looks like. And not be more, hey, we're going to pray for our president, but we don't agree with anything they're doing.
Yeah.
You know? And we've always taught our kids, if we pray for leadership, whether what we wanted to get elected did get elected or if it didn't get elected, we're going to pray.
Yep.
But to be able to see it, it was just such a good feeling. I think it's really neat, even especially in our family, to see the excitement. But I will tell you, I was hanging out with some ladies praying last week, and they said how important it is to pray for families right now because some families are actually divided again with this election.
Yeah.
That who they wanted to win didn't win, and it's causing a rift in between their family members. And that just breaks my heart, that there are families today that are torn apart because of different beliefs like that.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Some of our coaching clients we've been on with for the past couple of days, I feel like this conversation's been coming up about family division, and some of the things have been pretty divisive. So, for instance, our one coaching client where the big division that happened there was their difference of opinion on vaccinations. And how our clients were pretty much like not into them. And really more pro-choice, like don't force me. If you want to, then go ahead, but don't shame me or guilt me or whatever, fire me because I'm not willing to do that. Like, let me just have my own choice. And other people, took kind of the opposite stance where it was more of a, actually, you know what, you are like a harm to society if you won't follow the protocol that's being mandated and pushed from everybody else. And talk about a time. And so one of our coaching clients, he had his mom actually was kind of in the middle. Unfortunately, his dad had died in the past. And so his mom's single mom. And then she's kind of in the middle of being influenced by her sister and their kids. And they're pretty like vocal and kind of immature really in a lot of ways. And then,
siding totally with
and
the idea of not choice.
And so she had this,
mandate.
she kind of had this, the mom was in the middle. So you got one side who's kind of conservative thinking, the other side is the opposite. And then mom's in the middle, and mom chose to kind of take the, just chose to kind of go the immature route about it and allowed it to like create division where they didn't even start. They kind of had to put boundaries up and then be able to talk for a couple of years, just because every time you're around them, even though you didn't even want to talk about this, you just wanted to be a family. Like it was just all this shaming and guilt. And eventually it's like, man, we just can't expose ourselves to this. We love you, but I don't understand. You can't treat us like this. And it's such a hard thing when, it's like you want to show honor, especially to people like your parents. Always. Because the word says to honor your mother and father, you'll live a long life. It's like, it's important. It's one of the 10 commandments to honor mom and dad. And so how do you honor people who aren't acting worthy of honor? But the word doesn't say that we're supposed to honor only if they deserve it. It just says we're supposed to. But then navigating, what does that even look like? How do you do this? And I think they did a pretty good job. They just loved her. They just said that we don't want to really discuss this. We'd like to see you. We don't want to interject ourselves into environments where we're going to be, have to deal with this. And so because they had to like kind of stand their ground, it was so exciting to me. I know you heard this too, but so exciting to hear like the victory. It's a couple years later, all of a sudden, the one aunt started trying to, I don't know, they kind of try to stir up some kind of drama again.
Sure.
And it really took our clients back a little bit. But then the mom decided to come over, said, we want to drop off some Christmas decorations or something. Comes over though, and then just spent, I don't know how long, just apologizing for not being there for them and allowing disunity to happen, and just wanting to get closer, and just really, and of course my coach, our coaching clients, just like being first class as they are, and they're just like, this is what we've always wanted, of course, welcome back, so glad. And just to see the other side of it, I feel like more and more that's going to happen is why I'm bringing this up, because as much as there's been division, I feel like the division has been amplified through people's agendas, through media and marketing and politics and everything else.
Sure.
And, if there's something that I really learned, I've always known that this game can get pretty dirty, but I will tell you, I've just watched it be just flat out evil. When you get to the point where you don't care if families are getting separated, and it's like, what though? But here's what we all have had to do. We've all had to actually put on our big boys and girls pants, and we've all had to say, it's time to start thinking for ourselves a little bit. It's time to just not trust the talking heads on the TV or the social media channel. It's time for us to actually think about what matters most to us. And so there's so many people now, I think, that family units are actually circling their wagons more now. We're all getting closer together. We're all deciding that our unity is more important. And in fact, beyond that, I don't even know what I can trust that I hear through any kind of a media source.
That's the whole thing.
Right?
I mean, I think people are waking up. That's the whole point. If we haven't, learned by now that we cannot trust what we're seeing on the television, we cannot trust social media, we can't trust the information that's being sent out to us. So we really have to dig in and not only do our own research with credible places, but hang out with people that are intelligent enough to discuss the real issues, not just the fake ones that they want us to be watching or learning about. I mean, we have to be more intelligent than that. We cannot just trust whoever's chatting it up over here.
Yeah.
And have enough discernment to process that through a Christian perspective. Yeah. Like you even said with our clients, and, we've had to do it with people that we love too. We disagree on stuff. It could be the vaccination. It could be political views. It could be how to raise their children. Yeah. It could be how to have a successful marriage. It could be how they take care of their finances. We disagree with many people that we still have great relationships with.
Yeah.
But we don't sit there and tolerate if they're going to belittle or slam down what we feel is right for us.
Yep.
And vice versa. We would never come at somebody. We just know enough that we're going to handle it with a Christian perspective and with kindness and with love. And in the end, what was neat with this couple that we coach is that when they did have this conversation with their mother, is that they even said, like, here's our boundaries, but we would love for you to jump in and do this with us. We would love for you to come on over and have your own boundaries with your family if that's what you need to do. we'll do it with you, but you're not alone. They never once came back at her and was like, well, since you treated us like this for the last 2-3 years,
right?
Too bad. Don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, now let me punish you with lack of relationship.
Or lack of love or anything else. People need to be open enough to forgive. And forgiveness, of course, is a choice. We have to make that choice. But it's actually an action, too. Mm-hmm. What does it look like when you do forgive somebody? Mm-hmm. And think long term. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, deciding to cut people out of your life is not always the right decision. Now, sometimes, yes. Sometimes we do need to cut them out for a season or maybe longer than a season.
Yep.
Maybe we have to do it with major boundaries. But if there is an opportunity to reconnect, go for it. Try it, right? Because it could be really healthy in the end.
Yeah, for sure. You know, again, it's like when it comes down to it, it's tricky, but unity is something you have to fight for.
Right.
First of all. And you got to fight for it early, I think, in your family, because things can get a little out of whack the longer someone is around, right? I mean, that's why we work so hard right now. We encourage every family out there, like, get on the same page about your values, get on the same page about your morals, get on the same page about, talk about them, talk about this stuff. So that way it's not just leaving stuff up to chance, because then where are they all picking them up from? And it takes extra effort. But, Psalm 133 says how good and pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in unity, for there God commanded the blessing. And so unity is always going to be something that's going to have to be very intentional.
Totally.
And it can't be passive, or else it's going to become disunity. And I think it's caught up to a lot of people, and also just kind of seeing where some people are at and just trying not to be a judger, stand your ground, believe what you believe, and try to be a judger. What's the word say about this? It says, how can you judge the speck in someone else's eye when you have a log in yours?
Right.
In other words, look in the mirror.
And another thing is too, how we as adults handle this is how our children are seeing us. Mm-hmm. Do you mean? I want our children to understand that, even as they become adults, we're going to disagree on stuff.
Right.
They're going to get married and have their own home. And of course, we're going to instill and continue to instill in our children. We're not just saying, hey, go off and do your own thing. That's, we want to continue as adults to instill into our adult children. But they will have their significant other and they will discuss things. And there may be disagreements.
Yeah.
But how we handle all that today with our family shows how we want to handle that with their family.
100%.
And so we're just an example, even in today's world, all the time.
Yeah. So pretty crazy season, but well done, Mom.
Yeah. We got it.
Yeah. Love you.
Love you.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.